The memo to Delta flight attendants did not mince words. It said, "We do not get paid to argue, so just stop." The memo warned there's absolutely no need to be extra. This is not within your job scope, so act your wage. You're a flight attendant, not a red coat. What's a red coat, and what is this memo? We're going to talk about it right now.
You are watching Maximus Aviation.
So thousands of Delta's regional flight attendants, not the mainline flight attendants, but the smaller regional flight attendants, have been told by their union to, quote, act your wage. Cute, right? See what they did there? Wage, not age. Anyway, the memo continued, avoid getting into arguments with passengers, even over safety-related issues. Yes, life and death, safety issues. Why, you ask? Well, because management allegedly won't support them. And they are right, because historically Delta will not support the red-headed stepchildren flight attendants of their regional black sheep feeder airlines. The warning came in an internal memo from the Association of Flight Attendants, the AFA-CWA, the biggest crew member union in the United States, which represents flight attendants at carriers such as Alaska and United Airlines. While Delta Airlines mainline flight attendants are famously not represented by a union, the Atlanta-based carrier does employ thousands of unionized flight attendants at a wholly owned subsidiary known as Endeavor Air, which operates regional services on behalf of Delta Airlines. The Endeavor flight attendants wear Delta uniforms, work on Delta-branded planes, follow Delta service guidelines, and only operate Delta flights. But there are some major differences. Like I said, these are the red-headed stepchildren of the mother airline. Endeavor Air flight attendants earn between $10 and $40 less per hour than their mainline counterparts and never get to enjoy any of Delta's famed annual profit sharing. However, while Delta owns Endeavor Air, it treats the company like it would an outside vendor, and that means it can drive down costs, especially labor costs. However, contract negotiations are set to get underway with a union that represents Endeavor flight attendants, but that won't be until 2027. 2 years might as well be a lifetime. And while the union says this could be a major fight, their first priority is making sure that their members don't end up in a meeting, or worse, for unprofessional conduct. Because again, the union says Delta will not support these flight attendants. In the memo obtained by the site Paddle Your Own Canoe, the union reminded its members that the primary focus on all of the rules and regulations that we ask passengers to follow is to inform, but not to enforce. But what does that mean in practice and in real-world scenarios? Well, if a flight attendant notices a passenger not following certain safety-related rules, then it's the job of the crew member to remind the passenger, not tell the passenger or debate with the passenger. Just gently remind the drunken, belligerent, pajama-wearing passenger. Okay, but what if the passenger chooses to ignore the flight attendant? Well, the union says there's no point in arguing the matter now, is there? But when this happens, in the air at 30,000 feet, well, the flight attendant should inform the captain and file a report. And if the plane's still on the ground, then that's the job for the gate attendants, not the flight attendant. The memo stresses we do not get paid to argue, so just stop, period. There's absolutely no need to be extra, the memo warned. Who wrote this memo, a 12-year-old? Anyway, the memo continued. This is not within your job scope, so act your wage. You're a flight attendant, not a red coat. So if you're like me and you're not up on the current Delta flight attendant nomenclature, well, red coat is a term specifically used by Delta Airlines for a highly trained customer service professional, easily recognizable for their distinctive red jacket. These so-called super agents, as Delta calls them, are tasked with providing exceptional hands-on assistance to passengers, resolving complex issues, and ensuring a positive travel experience. Oh, hands-on. That sounds ominous. According to Delta, some key responsibilities of a red coat are problem-solving. Red coats have the authority to resolve complex issues such as handling flight cancellations or significant travel disruptions. They can also help with a wide range of passenger needs, from simple questions to more serious conflicts. Additionally, they offer personalized assistance and help manage connections, aiming to make the travel experience as seamless as possible, as well as just enhancing the, quote, guest experience. The program started in the 1960s, however, the Red Coat program was eliminated in 2005 during a period of cost-cutting, but was brought back in 2009 due to customer demand and to enhance the airline's customer service. But while this new warning memo is certainly colorful, well, that's one way to put it, it makes a very good point. And the inform, not enforce principle has been credited with helping de-escalate in-flight incidents that could otherwise have turned very nasty. And in all seriousness, I do agree with this memo. The flight attendants are not getting paid enough to deal with some of the trashy passengers that fly on planes these days. So yeah, let the redcoats handle it. But this isn't exactly a new idea. It was United Airlines that notably pushed the inform, not enforce principle in the wake of the famous Dr. David Dow incident aboard a United Express regional service in 2017. What, you don't remember this incident? That's fine, because I never heard of it either. But Dr. David Dow, a Vietnamese-American physician, was left bloodied and bruised after being forcibly removed by security officers at Chicago O'Hare so that United can make room on the plane for several deadheading flight attendants. Yep, sounds like something that would happen in Chicago. Okay, so how did United handle that FUBAR situation? Well, of course, United Airlines quickly reached an undisclosed out-of-court settlement with Dr. Dow. However, the ensuing media firestorm from the incident led to United seriously rethinking how it dealt with passenger non-compliance issues. However, United didn't really put this new policy into practice until the mask mandate era of the COVID-19 pandemic. While some carriers like American Airlines were witnessing a horrific spike in unruly passenger behavior, the number of incidents at United remained remarkably low. Rather than getting into arguments with passengers about the mask mandate, flight attendants would simply inform them of the rules, and if the passenger ignored them, they would complete a post-flight report. Then United's corporate teams would follow up, issuing warnings or bans based on the severity of the non-compliance. Oh man, I don't miss COVID. However, United shouldn't get too much praise for this change because their airline thugs roughed up passengers and removed them to make room for flight attendants. And that's a different animal from everyday flight attendants just doing their job while having to deal with a drunken or belligerent crock-wearing passenger. But still, I agree with this situation and the union's Gen Z weirdly worded memo. They don't pay the regional flight attendants enough to risk losing their job or worse. So just stop. There's absolutely no need to be extra. Oh, and FYI, being extra is Gen Z slang for someone who is over-the-top dramatic or excessive in their behavior, style, or emotions. Still a strange thing to put in a professional memo. But hey, I'm an older boomer. What the hell do I know? But I agree that being extra is not within their job scope. And indeed, they should act their wage. And apparently their wage is nowhere near enough to risk their job or their life over it. So screw them. Let the redcoats handle it. Well, that's what I think. How about you? Let me know down below.